Greetings, fellow Ambazonians. This is Capo Daniel, the president of the Ambazonian People's Rights Advocacy platform. I've come today to you to give you the state of our liberation struggle. And it's a very tough thing to do. I promise you to take the primary responsibility for this, our liberation struggle. I've been in this liberation struggle right from the start, when our teachers and our lawyers rose up, and it ignited the spirit of our nationalism. And we have been exerting our sovereignty of our territory. It has been a long way. I've worked with all our leaders, all the various movements within our struggle. I've worked with them faithfully to serve the public interests of our people and their aspiration for a separate homeland that is an independent state of Ambazonia, the former British Southern Cameroon. And I have to be always honest with you, as I call myself Mr. No Corny, to be honest with you with my assessment and make sure that we exploit the maximum chances for us to attain our freedom. During war, it's a very costly exercise where you lose human life, resources, and property. It is not something that we take lightly. It's not something that we do with pleasure. It's something that we do with a lot of pain. And we think it is very necessary to fight and defend our people's life and property, and also to secure justice for our territory so that our people can have a democratic society where they can secure their own freedom and restore their dignity. Fellow Ambazonians, right now as I speak to you, as I have told you repeatedly, the state of our revolution does not have a positive trajectory as a result of us losing international sympathy. The American government, who have sanctioned the Cameroon state, is now considering to reinstate their support to the Cameroon state. If Cameroon is admitted into the AGOA, it will send a very bad signal to the international community about our struggle. We have come a long way. I've spoken to a lot of international partners, stakeholders, who have interest for justice for our people and who are sympathetic to our cause. Right now, Ambazonia is being seen as the belligerent side of this conflict as a result of us losing the chance, a very slim chance that we had to secure some victory for our people, which includes prisoners' release and a relief from the humanitarian crisis, which would have come in the form of cessation of hostility. The fact that we have lost this opportunity and the fact that the Cameroon government have withdrawn their commitment to the Canadian process should make us to rethink and posture ourselves in a manner that is going to attract the right attention from the international community and change the trajectory that we have internationally. I will always be honest with you. It's a very tough thing to do. I have always been honest with you, even when it is inconvenient, and that will bring stones to me. But I take the bullet because I believe you deserve to be elevated. Some people would think, is it better for me to just stay quiet and let people be happy and to end up finding that they are going to the wrong place? And I give this example. If you want to travel through the desert and they tell you to travel through that desert is going to take you 6 hours, and you prepare fuel for that 6 hours trip, only an hour after that the trip is going to take you probably 46 hours. You're probably going to die if you're not prepared for that long journey. And if I've learned anything, is that only honesty and the truth can set us free. I'd rather tell you people the problem we face now so that we can take right measures together, because this is a collective struggle, so that we can remedy the situation and send the right message to the international community that is going to attract the right attention and give us another chance to win. In my calculation, for us to win this war is going to be our ability to convince the international community to seek for justice for our territory. And once we lose that ability to do that, I believe we are not going through the right direction. And we have to see ways to amend the losses we have. Why it might be convenient for us to just close our eyes and believe that the war evolved around our own brain and talking to ourselves. We have to engage the international community and be ready to show them that we are ready for negotiation. We have to demonstrate that clearly, because now I have a conversation with one of our international partners, and I complain about the abuses that have been cited against Ambazonia and how they have wrongly targeted Dr. Chua Yaba with sanction. And they told me, if Pobia is able to carry out atrocity and blame it upon Ambazonia, and then you have some Ambazonian idiots like this guy who called Deco, who are going to come out to put give testimony that those same acts were committed by our people for no political reasons, but because they are just bad people. Those images from Deco is being played around the world by the Cameroon state in their reports to the international community to convince them that Ambazonians are acting recklessly. We are not acting with any political calculation. So people who are in this struggle, who blame people without putting any perspective, are doing us no good. As a matter of fact, they are helping to destroy our struggle. So I must give you the right advice. I must give you the right trajectory so that you understand what we need to do in order to salvage our liberation struggle. Right now, Pobia is an old man and the world expects him to die. There is no appetite for the international community to put pressure on Pobia. Pobia can simply go around the country and arrest everybody he wants. Nobody will say anything, because this is Africa. Black lives do not matter to the international community. And we have to know where we are, our position, so that we know how to fight out of that position. Pobia have simply eliminated his political opponent hiding behind the Ambazonian struggle. And the war is not calling him out for transforming that country into a one-party system. The fact that they are not calling Pobia out should be a strong indication for Ambazonians to know how the international community reacts towards black people and towards Africans. This is very important in our calculation. Our fight, as I have said in an audio, have benefited the most part the people who hate us, the cankerworms, the vampires, the leviathans of the colonial state of Cameroon. So we must make sure that the poor people, the lay people who we represent, should be the one who comes on top of this struggle, not the politicians. Our struggle have transformed itself. All the movements that we count for to liberate us have transformed themselves into political party, where loyalty to individuals are paramount than effectiveness and competency. We have seen that across the board. I will not sit quiet and don't tell you the truth. If I tell you the truth, it's not to make you feel bad. It's like me telling you that we have to prepare for a long journey, instead of me letting you to think that the journey is short. We have to go back to the drawing board and make sure that we can get things right. I spoke to FM Lucifer yesterday in Baipanea. His camp was under attack, and I advised them and I talked to them. He's somebody I've criticized so much. He used to work for Sako, but we have to work together. I've appealed to the mountain lions, to General Sagat. We need them to stop the CDC. If we do not stop the flow of our goods and our resources to the international market from Cameroon, if we do not cut Cameroon's ability to be the guarantor of international trade with Ambazonian resources, then we have lost the interest of the international communities to stand for freedom for Ambazonia or justice for our territory. Because international politics is based solely on interest and not on human rights, like the white people are preaching and the Americans and the rest are preaching. These are people who do not care about human rights. They don't care about democracy and freedom. They don't care about justice. The promises we had about preventive diplomacy, the never again promise against genocide in Africa, were all those cliches to get everybody in line, to align with the West in their global quest for dominance. We must realize this and know that our destiny is in our own hands, and we must take the responsibility seriously. We must demonstrate to the international community our commitment to negotiate. We must do so, because right now they perceive it otherwise. That is the truth of the matter. A woman, a lady like Karen Bass, who have done so well to advocate for justice through the Joe Biden administration, is no longer a legislature. The Americans have had the summit with the African leaders, which was a chance that Paul Biya wants to evade while he was busy in Canada. We lose that opportunity to grab that chance. And we have to not deceive ourselves like Sako did when he came and tell us that there's a Swiss process. The Canadian process, as I can tell you, do not still have the commitment of the Cameroon state that we secured. That commitment is gone. And for us to ravage anything, for us to send the right signal to the international community, we must change our tune. We must send a clear message to the international community of our readiness for negotiation. We must send the proper indication to the international community that our people are not just blood hunger, but are fighting for a political cause. We must demonstrate smartness to counter political propaganda that is being waged against us by Kuniam Titus and the state of Cameroon. This military attaché of people like Kuniam Titus, Clovis, Moja John Eko Ewome, who are working for the Cameroon military, are scavengers. And it's a brutal war, and we must be very, very smart to keep our momentum and to send the right signal. Because if we are so much focused about what these people will say, the attacks we are going to have, and we do not prioritize the public interest, we are all going to become political parties instead of liberators. So we should keep the focus. I want to tell our people that we will change this trajectory. I'm asking for all the Ambazonian forces. This problem is not just with the movement. In Ground Zero, we have generals who have become money spenders now. And I've created a dark force which will refocus the inspiration for self-defense towards pure guerrilla tactics that also complement the physical taking of territory and managing of territory, which is very important. But that aspect of guerrilla warfare, of forces where they can be dark at night and during daytime they are like normal people, is very important, especially as the Italian government will be providing the Cameroon a military jet that they have delayed for 3 years. And I understand that they delayed that delivery of those military equipment to the Cameroon state because they wanted to give Ambazonia a chance. I will give more details on my defense briefing to our people. So fellow Ambazonians, we have not lost the war, but there is a danger that if we do not hit to common sense, if we do not hit to patriotic core, we are going to become a captured people in La République du Cameroon. And our defenders who are on the ground may not be able to hold the ground next year if we are not very careful. We have to send them the right signal. We have to put up a strong defense against Cameroon propaganda that seeks to use the population to overpower our forces. We have to send the right signal to the international communities that we are a people who are willing to negotiate. We are a people who put priority over the humanitarian situation, and that put priorities over the livelihood of our people and the public interest over our own political posture. Independence should mean freedom for our people. Independence should mean the ability of our people to govern themselves. Independence to mean the ability of us to secure our borders, our territorial sovereignty, our ability to conduct international business. Independence should mean independence. We should actually know what it means. And for us to arrive there, we have to be patriotic. We have to be smart diplomatically, and we have to send the right signal to the international community. I've put forth to you a formula to liberate Ambazonia, which is in the Haiti solution, to completely stop the exploitation of all cash crop through La République du Cameroon by stopping the CDC. We can give a big blow to the Cameroon ability to extract our resources in Sonora project, but I've told you clearly we will have to stop CDC. I'm appealing to General Sagat, to all the Ambazonian forces in the Atlantic state to come together and let us collaborate to get this done. To our forces in the Savannah state, I'm asking them to be very, very cautious with our people and to demonstrate love to our people, and to focus their attention against two things. Cameroon's ability to govern our territory should be stopped. Cameroon's ability to navigate our territory freely should be stopped through the use of IED, and our forces also have to focus also on the community mobilization, which the Ambazonian Governing Council have ruled out through the process of the transitional authority. Something I work very hard on that project. It should continue and it should be emulated by all our forces. We should collaborate more in terms of exchanging weapons and focus to fight against the enemy. As I told you people, this is a warning I'm sending to our people. If you do not heed the warning, if you think that you don't need to be warned or to reassess, then you are in a danger zone. We must, as I've said, send the right signal to the international community. We must assess our situation properly and make sure that we can fight it off. I'm not coming to tell you this because I'm coming to tell you that we have lost the war. No, we can win the war, and we are winning on the ground because Cameroon is unable to govern our territory. The territory is ungovernable. Cameroon have lost its legitimacy. But the problem right now is that the international community do not care about legitimacy. They do not care about democracy in Cameroon, in Ambazonia. They don't really care about those things any longer like they used to care. And we must understand this. And the reason is because they see us as belligerent, and also Paul Biya is old and they are giving him the chance he needs to kill people. That is the state of our liberation movement. That is the state of our life. We will change it. We will change it. So stay focused. I'm engaging robustly with our international partners across the globe. They are listening to us. They are paying attention to what we say to ourselves and what we communicate to them. And we have to make some measured demonstration to the international community of our commitment to a negotiated settlement of this crisis, so that the war will leave ground zero and go to the diplomatic arena where it belongs. We have to make that case. When you are the weaker partner, when you are the weaker side of a conflict, you must behave as the weaker side. We are the victims. We are the ones suffering. The war is being fought on our streets. It is our homes, our villages that are being burnt. It is our brothers and our sisters that are being killed and being raped on a daily basis by the Cameroon military. And we must act like victims. We must not think that we have become kings when we are still slaves. If you start acting like you are a king when you are still a slave, you miss the whole mark. You miss the whole mark. We have a lot to do. Take the responsibility seriously. Take the threat that the state of Cameroon poses to our people seriously. Do not collaborate with the Cameroon army. They are butchers of our people. They are genocidal. Do not collaborate or look at those who come spending money from Yaoundé as people who have anything to offer. These are the cankerworms of our society. These are the traitors to our nationalism. These are the slave traders of our people. We must stand up to this opportunity, to this challenge. We must take on this challenge, and we must win for the sake of those who have paid the ultimate price, and for the sake of those who have called to go for war to protect our territorial integrity. We must do so, and I promise you, we will get to that point. For the meantime, our population in areas who are not taking the ghost town seriously should rise up and make sure that they demonstrate. The ghost town is very critical to demonstrate that we want freedom, we want independence, we want separation from Cameroon. If we are lukewarm, if we allow the Cameroon terrorism tactics to triumph, it will be a tragedy. So we must rise up to make sure that we can secure justice for our country. We must be patriotic. We must join the military. I know that it might be very difficult given all the history we have gone through with infighting, soldiers turning against each other, forces abandoned to themselves without any leadership taking responsibility, and some of them have become a problem to our society. Some of them, while the vast majority of them are focused to their job. Our people must know that leadership gets it. Leadership understands, and leadership is doing the right thing to put the public interest and the state interest ahead of personal interest and distraction. We have had a lot of distraction. I'm not blaming anybody. It's a collective failure. We have had a lot of infighting, a lot, and we must put our people first. We must put our territory first. You'll be hearing more from me subsequently. God bless you all.